Oh, Niles, do shut up.
Oh, you shut up.
No, frankly, you should shut up. It's time you shut up.
Here are 10 times Niles and Frasier turned healthy competition into a Crane Boys version of a full-contact sport.
You, Spindly! Fatface! Spindly! Fatface! Spindly! Fatface! You take that back!
Club membership. The Club. Season 2, Episode 18. In this episode, Frasier and Niles compete over membership of the Empire Club. Niles already boasts a connection to the club, and his confidence drives Frasier up the wall.
You think I look smug now? Wait till you see me next week. If all goes well, my lapel will be sagging under the weight of a solid gold membership pin.
Frasier tries to act nonchalant, but he's clearly desperate for a gold pin of his own.
It's eating you up inside, isn't it?
Like a carnivorous bacteria. If he gets into that club, I should too.
For Frasier, the club is more than just a social opportunity. It represents prestige and validation. When they attend a club reception, he is clearly intoxicated by the environment.
Oh, it's everything I ever imagined it would be and more.
What's that smell, Dr. Crane?
That's power.
But the club ain't big enough for the both of them. Instead of working together, they start undermining each other by bringing up embarrassing personal details in front of members.
I'm sure that stood you in good stead when you were in prison for threatening the president.
As the situation escalates, Daphne tries to save them from themselves.
Stop it! Do you intend to stand here running each other down and ruin both your chances?
And when the club finally makes its decision, it creates another conflict. Frasier is accepted, and Niles is not. Frasier does his best to conceal his delight.
Believe me, Niles, your getting passed over like this has drained every drop of joy from this.
But he ultimately fails.
Rooftops, lattes for everyone! This is the proudest day of my life!
Well, it was worth a shot, and if you're enjoying the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel so we can keep going deep into everything Frasier. Couples Therapy. Shrink Wrap. Season 3, Episode 2. The Crane brothers try couples therapy after their plan to work together falls apart. The episode unfurls in flashbacks from their therapy session. At the session, they argue over who should speak and who is in charge.
I'm perfectly capable of speaking for myself.
And then they continue to interrupt each other throughout.
Caruso wasn't so in love with the sound of his own voice.
What does that mean?
Well, you tell me, Enrico.
The trouble begins when Niles asks Frasier to join him in the office space next door, partly because the neighboring psychiatrist's primal scream therapy is disrupting his sessions.
I can get you to a point where the memories no longer haunt you.
Feeling hemmed in by the limitations of his radio show, Frasier is interested. They start talking seriously about a shared practice, shared patients, and even shared group sessions. But as they begin working side by side, their problems become clear. They compete over status, authority, and whose approach is correct.
Dr. Crane, are you denying that most accidents happen for a reason?
No, Dr. Crane. I believe they do.
In a group session they lead together, they start bickering and forget about the patients altogether. A professional argument quickly turns into a personal competition.
I don't need your group. I got a group of my own, 500,000 strong.
Why don't you rent a farm, pass out the body paint, and call it Frasier stock?
Their therapist tries his best to get them to cooperate by using a trust exercise, but they argue about that too.
You should know he catches like a girl.
Eventually, their therapist throws in the towel. He cannot help them. No one can.
I've never said what I'm about to say. Give up. It's hopeless.
This, of course, brings the brothers back together. Nothing helps them bond better than a common enemy they can look down on.
Oh, yes, of course. His graduate work was done in Aruba.
Up next, a farce classic, Fine Dining. The Innkeepers. In Season 2, Episode 23, Frasier and Niles learn that their favorite restaurant, Orsini's, is closing. They decide to enjoy one last meal there for old time's sake. But when they arrive, they are dismayed by its rundown state.
What has happened to this place?
I know. It's like running into a movie star you worshipped as a child, only...
Instead of dining and leaving like normal people, they decide to buy the restaurant and run it themselves. Martin immediately sees trouble on the horizon.
Wait a minute, don't tell me you two are seriously considering doing a dumbass idiotic thing like buying this place.
But the brothers are undeterred. They figure liking good food is basically the same as cooking good food.
Have you decided what you'd like?
Yes, I'd like the whole damn place, right from the wine cellar to the rafters. And for the lady?
They immediately start hatching plans to revamp the restaurant, but on opening night, the problems pile up immediately. They interfere with each other's responsibilities.
Instead of individual soufflés, bake one large soufflé and dish the portions out at the table.
And they disagree about even the smallest details.
I thought that we agreed that we would serve the souffle in individual cups.
After more confusion, delays, and a mass exodus of staff, the brothers are forced to do pretty much everything themselves.
Get a grip! We're not being asked to do anything that none of us hasn't done before in our own kitchens in our own home. Now, quick, Niles, kill 5 eels!
The fraternal business venture ends more like an episode of Wile E. Coyote, with Roz getting blown up in a cherry dessert explosion, and with a car being parked through the side of the building.
Big blue flash. Cherries everywhere.
Turns out the brothers' rivalry isn't just professional and personal, it's culinary too. And there'll be more examples of that coming up. If you want to see more of the best of Frasier's farce episodes, make sure to check out the channel. Holiday Hostilities, We Two Kings, Season 10, Episode 10. In their first Christmas as a married couple, Niles and Daphne decide they'd like to host.
Actually, Frasier, Daphne and I would like to have you over to our place for Christmas this year.
But Frasier doesn't exactly warm to the idea.
It's a little late to be changing things, isn't it? Besides, we've always had Christmas here. It's a tradition.
They try to find a compromise by splitting the day, only to start arguing immediately over which part of the day matters more.
But who gets morning and who gets afternoon?
Morning.
I think Niles said it first.
Dad, who do you think said it first?
I'm sick of everything being a contest between you two.
Martin says he will make the decision about where Christmas will be held. This triggers yet another unhealthy competition between the brothers as they compete for their father's favor.
In the meantime, decision-making is thirsty work. Sure could use a beer.
I'll get it. No, I know, I'll get it. Oh, you son of...
As the episode continues, their competition becomes more desperate and dirty. They accuse each other of trying to manipulate Martin and resorting to personal attacks and old complaints.
You are trying to bribe Dad to have Christmas at your place.
Oh, and what about you buying him the dancing Santa?
They're losing sight of what is important, again.
A surprising gift considering you threw his last one off the balcony.
Martin gets frustrated and decides he is not going to spend Christmas with them because he is tired of their behavior.
All right, you know what? I just made my decision. I'm working Christmas. I hope you two are happy. You've ruined Christmas.
As is often the case, the brothers snap out of it and work together to save the day. But a truce between these two never lasts for long. Birthday Gift Arms Race. The Gift Horse. Season 5, Episode 2. It is Martin's birthday, and Frasier and Niles agree to stop competing over who can buy the better gift. They set a spending limit in a bid to keep things sensible. But that agreement falls apart when Niles admits he went over the limit.
How big a drop? Just $100 over.
It's not a drop, that's a downpour.
It's a dribble.
That's a deluge. And stop it!
After that, Frasier drastically increases his budget, culminating in a shock purchase. Even though he despises it, Frasier orders an enormous home entertainment system.
What are those?
Your speakers.
But Niles finds something that will impress Martin more than any expensive item. Martin's old police horse, Agassiz. When Frasier finds out what Niles has done, he realizes he's been blown out of the water.
You didn't!
Didn't what? Buy the horse? Sorry, did.
Oh!
When Martin is reunited with his horse, he's touched. It's a thoughtful reminder of his glory days on the force. Seeing this, the brothers realize that in the heat of their competition, they'd forgotten what the day was meant to be about. At the end, Niles makes a noble gesture, including Frasier. So Martin sees the gift as coming from both of them.
The horse is from me and from Frasier.
Well, actually, it was mostly Niles' idea.
Well, then, thanks to both of you.
Wine Club. Season 7, Episode 17. Frasier is counting on Niles' support in his bid to be elected corkmaster of his wine club.
But you'll still keep your secret identity as Frasier Crane, right? If you win, I'd love a ride in the Corkmobile.
All right, Bob.
Before the meeting, Niles plans to support Frasier. However, Mel gets in Niles' head and convinces him to think about running himself.
You are a powerful, sexy, dynamic colossus of a man.
She tells him he would be a strong choice and makes him feel confident about his wine-tasting abilities.
In other words, perfect corkmaster.
At the club, Frasier assumes the nomination is already settled. But Niles tells Frasier that he wants to run too, leaving him feeling shocked and betrayed.
I covet this post as much as you do. I always have, and I think I deserve a shot at it.
When the wine club votes, the results are tied. Because there is no clear winner, they use a blind taste test as a tiebreaker. Naturally, both brothers take the test as seriously as a heart attack.
Please prepare to be stomped like a late harvest Gewürztraminer.
Why go Merlot when you can call a cab?
Niles wins, and Frasier struggles to accept it.
Niles wins by 10%!
The rivalry continues afterward, and people around them get tired of hearing about it.
Would you shut up about that courtmaster thing? I already hate you for putting that song in my head.
Dinner parties. Rivals. Season 7, Episode 6. In Rivals, Frasier and Niles end up waging war over a misunderstanding. Both mistakenly believe the other is trying to steal his date. It begins at Cafe Nervosa. Frasier is avoiding his new boss, Poppy Delafield.
Well, with good reason. The woman is a windsock.
Niles responds by teasing Frasier.
Perhaps all this pigtails and the inkwell hostility is actually a latent attraction.
Around the same time, Frasier becomes interested in Regan Shaw, only to discover she and Niles already know each other, but both are being mysterious as to how. Frasier interprets this as Niles trying to get involved with Regan.
What kind of a fool does he take me for? He is obviously pursuing Regan. The man has the nerve to say he's chasing Poppy. Yes, as if anyone could pursue that insufferable air horn.
At the charity ball, both brothers arrive with their dates, Frasier with Regan and Niles with Poppy. Instead of focusing on their own dates, they watch each other like hawks. Niles also starts suspecting his brother has a hidden motive of his own.
After he knew I'd be here with Poppy, obviously he wants to get a shot at her himself. He's brought that woman along as his beard.
The confusion continues until the end, when they finally realize that their mistakes have led to a spectacular double fumble.
To Regan.
The IQ Showdown. IQ. Season 6, Episode 19. Frasier and Niles attend a charity auction. One of the auction items is a lunch with 3 Nobel Prize winners. Both brothers want the lunch because they see it as a rare opportunity to show off their intellect and as a sign of social status.
We're raising money for the Kellyanne Grunther Foundation.
Oh, baloney. You just want to go there so you can hobnob with all your snooty friends.
Oh, that is not true.
The bidding starts off calm, right up until they realize they are bidding against each other. From then on, both will stop at nothing to stop the other from claiming victory.
I think it's time to separate the men from the boys. You will never top this bid.
But Frasier blows him out of the water.
You're right, Niles. I won't top it. I will double it.
Neither will give in. They keep raising the amount until they spend far more than they intended.
Dear God, we've just spent $8,000 for a lunch.
Afterward, they reflect on their fierce, and in this case expensive, rivalry. Niles brings up that it may have all started in childhood.
Well, that's a good question, Niles. Well, think back. What was the first thing you can remember us competing over?
Have to be Mom.
That leads them to look back at memories involving their mother. It also leads to the topic of their old IQ scores. And before you know it, the competitive juices are flowing yet again.
Well, congratulations. I doff my hat to you, Mr. 131.
Higher.
What do you mean, higher? Mom told us we were 2 points apart.
Well, apparently Mom was being tactful.
How tactful.
Frasier's jealousy spikes when he finds out that Niles was way ahead of him in the IQ test.
My God, that's
27 points.
Yes, I know!
The book collaboration. Author. Season 1, Episode 22. In Author, Niles is about to lose a book deal and needs to come up with a strong idea quickly.
All my life I have dreamed of one thing. The day I could go into a library and go to the card catalog and see my name under mental illness.
He decides to involve Frasier and suggests that they write a psychiatry book together about sibling relationships. Frasier agrees to help, but once they begin working, things get difficult almost immediately. Niles tries to take control early and focuses on details, while Frasier tries to guide the process in his own way.
Or they could be things from your adolescence. Or they could be things from your young adulthood. Or they could
be things that are going on right now.
As the work continues, their disagreements increase. They keep correcting each other. They do not accept changes easily, and each brother reacts as if the other is trying to take over. Frasier becomes frustrated when Niles adjusts what Frasier considers a completed thought.
I was just finishing the thought.
The thought was finished. It didn't need finishing. For God's sakes, now it's a run-on sentence.
They stay up working in a hotel room. The longer they work, the more tired they get. The pressure builds, and their minibar bill mounts.
I'm adding up our tab from the minibar. We now owe $232.
The writing stopped being the main issue a long time ago. Their arguments descend into an orgy of jealousy, spite, and schoolyard taunts.
I do not have a fat face!
Oh, please, I keep wondering how long you're going to store those nuts for winter.
They simply cannot collaborate without competing. Needless to say, they don't quite manage to finish the book.
Niles, Niles! Stop it! We're psychiatrists, not pugilists!
Niles looks stunned and releases him.
Can't believe you fell for that! Oh!
Last but not least, we have Niles Steals the Spotlight. Head Game, Season 4, Episode 5. In this episode, Frasier goes to a convention and has to miss a week at KACL. So he asks Niles to fill in for him.
Me standing in for you? I'm sorry, Frasier. I couldn't presume to fill those big floppy red shoes of yours.
Frasier is worried the station might replace him with another host, and figures he has nothing to fear from his brother.
But please, Niles. Look, I'm begging you. This other station wants to replace me with Helen Grogan, better known as Ma Nature.
Niles agrees to do it, but he's not exactly a natural. During one call, Roz sets him up, and he ends up giving advice to a caller, only to realize the patient is a cat.
Well, I'd like to tell you, but that would violate Dr. Cat confidentiality.
Instead of harming him, the mistake actually endears him to the audience. Niles even gets positive feedback from Frasier's colleagues at the station, including Bulldog.
Hey, Dr. Doolittle. I heard your show. It didn't suck.
Dear Diary.
Later, as his Seattle 15 Minutes of Fame continues, a Seattle Sonics basketball player, Reggie McLemore, asks Niles for help with his slump. Niles tries to coach him through a mental exercise.
I'm dribbling. Don't worry about your appearance.
When Reggie returns to form, Niles starts receiving the sort of public attention usually craved by Frasier.
Which one of you won the game for us last night?
That would be me.
Needless to say, Frasier hates every moment of it and is desperate to get back to the office to get back on top. So those are some of the great Frasier and Niles rivalries. What is your favorite Crane Brothers showdown? Drop it in the comments. And as always,
I'm listening.